All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. Today we are reviewing Dumb Money. Dumb Money is the ultimate David vs. Goliath tale based on the insane true story of everyday people who flipped the script on Wall Street and got rich by turning GameStop, yes, the mall video game store, into the world's hottest company. This movie has an 84% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and an 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Hour 44, shorter movie, comedy drama. What did you guys think of it?
Didn't that feel longer than an hour?
It did
44?
feel really long.
I don't know why
I
I
felt
felt
like
longer.
it was 2 hours at least.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like boring.
No,
it was good.
not at all. It wasn't like a dragged out like movie, in my opinion. It just felt longer than it was, which I don't know why that was the case. But I'm a sucker for star-studded casts, to be honest with you. I think that's one thing that I kind of look for nowadays. Like that kind of adds like that extra like spoof to things for me. And this movie did not disappoint when it came to that in terms of the star-studded cast.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I didn't I know when I saw the trailer for it and like it kind of seemed like a stupid concept for a movie, but their marketing scheme kind of made it known that it was going to be like a comedy because like no one, it's not like The Big Short. Like, well, that's why The Big Short worked though, in my opinion, is that it was funny. And I mean,
a lot of good actors.
Yeah, star-studded cast, and this reminds me a lot of that. And I mean, it was good. I remember, like I said, with like their marketing scheme on it, they were like letting people know that it was going to be a comedy, and it actually was funny as shit.
Yeah, I mean, they had Paul Dano in it, Pete Davidson, who I forgot was in this, Vincent D'Onofrio, Nick Offerman, Seth Rogen, Sebastian Stan. Like,
when was Vincent D'Onofrio in it?
He was the guy getting the massage at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Remember? And I turned to you, I said the Kingpin.
Yeah, the hedge fund guy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
God, he didn't even look like him.
I know, man. Kingpin.
Yeah, American Fiero was in it. Like, the cast was amazing.
Don't forget Dane DeHaan. Mr. Oscorp.
Yeah.
No, he's...
Yeah, that shit was funny.
I told Aiden right away, I'm like, dude, that's him. Like, that's the guy from Chronicle. And he goes, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I was like, yeah.
Nick Offerman, man.
I didn't notice it until he took his mask off in the movie.
Oh, I could tell from the voice. I didn't notice that the character had a rat tail until like they're in that storage room. Yeah,
that's so funny, man. Because that's just like so GameStop, dude.
Yeah, dude, it was cool that one was Detroit, Michigan too.
Yeah,
that guy's story.
Anthony Ramos, man. Anthony Ramos. Like he's been getting in some movies nowadays, man. I was first introduced to him in A Star Is Born, but I know he's in the new Transformers that I haven't seen actually. And then I'm looking at it now. He was in Hamilton, and then he was in both Transformers.
Okay.
No, actually, I'm sorry. He's coming up with a new one, obviously. It's just the newest one, yeah.
That's the first time I've seen him.
Yeah. Really? No, you watched A Star Is Born.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't recognize him.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know.
Yeah, because he just plays like the friend in that, right? Like one of her close friends.
He plays Allie's friend and Lady Gaga's character's friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he the one that works with her?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, because I hadn't seen Transformers, but he looked super familiar. So that makes sense for sure. And he was really good in the movie. What did you guys think of like the side stories where it showed like each character's perspectives, their net worths, like before and then after? Like I thought that was all really interesting.
I definitely like that part because it was relatable. I mean, you see that those like two girls are in college and obviously they're like in student debt and like they're like 150 grand in debt, and they ended up making out with like what 250K.
Yeah. Well, and then too the nurse.
Yeah, the
which
nurse.
What was she like 50K in debt?
She's still
something
in that bitch.
Yeah, she's 48,000 in debt.
I think she ended with like 13 in debt too.
Yeah, I mean they didn't really. They didn't really say how much they held. I mean, you got to think like
at the end
they didn't really show when those girls sold, but I mean, I remember GME. Like, I mean, we could pop it up, but I think it was like 555 or 6 something, like low sixes.
I think it was 480 something. Maybe it hit 500 though. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I think it was. Let's see, 52-week high.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. We were talking about it on the walkout, but like this happened 2 years ago, and it does not feel like it. It feels like it happened yesterday.
Ooh, it's crazy. The turnaround on this movie, and like it's 2 years, like you said. It does not feel like 2 years ago for sure. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. With the COVID and everything like that, it was.
I remember too when they went to Congress for it. It got announced that they're going to do a movie, and that Seth Rogen was involved. So, I was excited for it. And then at that point, too, Seth Rogen had been doing like The Boys and stuff like that. So like you knew he was starting this like really really good track record. And I think this adds on to it. And then we eventually saw the rest of the cast, and it was really exciting. But yeah, it's crazy. I remember that time. Aiden, you did buy some GME, right? But you made most of your money from AMC.
Yep. I mean, but it's crazy, like, being in that, what was the Reddit page? It was Wall Street Bros.
Wall Street Bets.
Wall Street Bets. I remember being in there. I mean, I remember seeing all these memes, like, day by day, hour per hour.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just funny, like, kind of reliving that moment in your life, like, especially during COVID. Because, I mean, I was at work, and I remember just sitting there on my phone all day, just buying, trading, doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I did a lot of biotech trading, like day trades at the beginning of COVID. And then I remember they just started pumping that GameStop, and I was skeptical on it. I didn't want to put a bunch of money into it.
Did you ever go on the Reddit page, like were you on it all the time?
Yeah, I was on it all the time. I joined that. I remember when they shut it down. I remember when they halted GME because you would try to buy it because, I mean, I was like hedging back and forth, and then you try to buy it and you can't. That buy option was gone. So, I mean, it's not like they were like trying to dramatize the movie at all. Like, it was all legit. I think they honestly made it least or less dramatic than it was at the time, because I remember people were literally freaking out.
Yeah, and I remember that night because I was at home and I woke up and it was January 21st, and I remember that date because that night AMC was valued at $4 a share, and I bought like 200 worth. So I was like, fuck it. Because AMC was starting to pick up traction, and GME at this point was already at $40. So I was like, do I want to spend $40 on this share that I don't know will go up that much more, or do I take AMC, which is also in a similar situation, at $4 where I could buy more shares?
Yeah.
So I ended up buying AMC. But I remember at one point too, like GME at the beginning of January was like $17-$18, and I was like, damn, it was $4 in the summer. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's so stupid, man.
Yeah, maybe I don't hop on it, and obviously now I kick myself over it, but
I mean, that's the thing
January
that sucks
21st
too.
Just spiked up,
and they definitely showed a lot in this movie, like people dumping everything that they own into this. Like, I mean,
I'm sorry, you gotta be fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how it works out. Like, those people have nothing to lose, and they're already as low as they can go. I mean, it's just like a casino, I mean, these people obviously had no education. Like, they had no common sense when it came to this. They just met this guy that was live streaming, and they just followed him. Everything.
What was his name? Roaring Kitty?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Keith Gill.
But I mean, like, I don't ever remember like that guy popping up. Must have not looked at it that much.
Oh, see, I'd watch his videos.
So I wasn't in
during January.
So I didn't follow GME as much as I followed AMC. But I mean, I saw it. I mean, a bunch of people made money, and like we were talking about when we left the movie, I mean, the only thing that I disliked about this movie is showing that, like, they showed all these like underdogs making money, like the everyday working people, but they didn't show how many people jumped on it at 400 and it went to 450, and then all those people lost millions of dollars or lost all their money.
That's the storytelling, though. I mean, like, they start off with like 5 subplots.
I mean, the nurse technically like loses it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Of course. To be honest with you, the one that should probably fucking win, the one that you're rooting for out of all of them.
Yeah, with kids, and she's
But that's like the reality of this entire story, like, being as real as it is that people didn't know. People were just like, they were making Robinhood accounts, pumping all this money into it, and they're like, all right, like, when do I buy? When do I sell? They didn't know how to get their initial buyback and then keep riding it. They didn't know how to edge it on. They didn't know how to, add more to it and all that. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. And a lot of people love the stock market because of that, and a lot of people will never touch it again because of that.
Yeah, I'm thankful that I didn't. So I was invested in AMC, and I'm thankful that I didn't do Robinhood. A lot of people I know did, which makes sense, right? But yeah, they would halt the stock constantly. I mean, they showed it only like once or twice in the movie, but they halted it constantly. Whenever AMC or GME would do really well, they would just halt it right away. And I was one of those people, and me and Aiden talked about that too, where it's like every day was like, damn, do we sell? Do we hold? And it's like, I know my shares at one point, I think I put in a total of like 2,500 and it went up to $25,000 at one point in my account. So, and I didn't sell, and AMC was at like $72, and I wish I would have. I sold off like $3,000 to make my money back just so I felt safe and I was less pressured to sell. But
I don't know why I fucked this all up, because I mean, what was this, two years ago? But AMC was the one that went up to like 550, and
no, AMC
GME
was 71 or 72. GME was the one that.
No, I'm sure. Now, I just looked it up. AMC closed on June 2nd of 551.
Yeah, so what they did, Aiden, they split the stock with
reverse split.
It's called. Yeah, and then now they reversed it. So now, like, it being 72 was actually like 500.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah. So now it's different. But at the time, 72, which was a lot. God, I mean, I remember just sitting there.
At $8.
Yeah, I bought it. I was averaging it at like $5 because I kept buying it when it went up. I bought it originally at $4. And yeah, it just kept going up, and it was like insane, dude. So, but I remember checking every day. And those couple days, like January 27th, 28th, 29th, I was on there. I mean, I wish I could go back and look at my screen time on the app. I was like on there constantly, like all day, like on my monitor, like looking at it constantly because it was just going up. It was awesome.
These are the finance bros, man. Make a fucking YouTube channel.
Well, Aiden's right though. We'd sit there, we'd watch videos, we'd look at the subreddit constantly because it was a whole ass movie.
You'd watch a 10-minute YouTube video, bro. I'm gonna invest in this, and this stock. I know. I'm gonna hedge this. I'm gonna short this.
Literally,
I know the stock market, bro. I watched a YouTube video. Okay.
No, I mean I don't really. I just learn from. I mean my uncles and stuff like that. I mean you do watch videos, but that doesn't like, go on your marketing strategy or your trading strategy. But
no.
I mean, nowadays, that was the most money I've ever seen in my account at once. I didn't you don't even know what to do, because then but then you're reading shit in like as young as we were, like you're going, they're like, oh, like you'll never get paid out for that, and then they're like doing all these. Obviously, Robinhood was fucking people, and you see like, I mean, you wake up one day and it's just tanked, and you just lost like almost 65% of your portfolio.
Yeah, and a lot of people do blame Robinhood for it, for halting it and stopping buying. Yeah, so it's like that's shady shit, and I'm glad they covered that in the movie. And then even during the Congress part of the movie, like I remember I was telling you guys, I remember watching that live that day, and it's crazy how fast they did it because it was like February 18th, 2021, so it was like less than a month from when GME really blew up.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how fast they got them in there to do it. I mean, it's over Zoom, but still, it's like Congress is a big deal.
It was insane. Like, I remember watching the Vlad and Dave Portnoy, and that's funny as hell that they put Dave Portnoy in there.
Yeah.
But even what was it? It was the Vlad and AOC. I remember watching that, and she was just cut in on this guy for 5 minutes.
Oh, man.
Foot on his neck.
AOC's the GOAT, man.
Yeah, shit.
Mike, I know you didn't really do the investing side of things. How much of this movie did you know about, I guess, before going into it?
Maybe 15%.
Really? Okay. What did you think? Did it explain everything well?
I'm actually really surprised how well they kind of tied in the comedy with it, to be honest with you. Because like I said, it's a short turnaround, 2 years. I really did not think that like they could be this articulate. I mean, obviously it's not like dramatized that much from your guys' perspective. So like, I don't know, man. I think they did a really fucking good job with this movie, especially like you said, like in terms of just like laying out like the timeline and just like all the stories, kind of telling like the just like different like people, like obviously like the hedge fund babies and all that stuff like that, and then like the everyday like workers like the nurse, and it was cool.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they really nailed this in the movie, whereas like people around the characters we were following were like, dude, sell. Like, what are you doing? Sell.
Yeah.
But it's like to be in this situation where these people are in, where you put a bunch of money into it, I mean, me and Aiden included, it's like you kind of have to go in with complete faith and like brainwash yourself that like, no, this is going to blow up. Like this is going to be the next big thing. And to some regards it was. I mean, it did change the way the market is. I mean, we saw at the end of the movie that like a lot of companies are scared to short companies like this, although it is still happening and people are still holding. People are still holding GME and AMC.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And that was like the other thing too, is I remember like showing my mom like, look at this. You see 20 grand in your thing. She's like,
you're
what
fucking
the fuck?
2021. Yeah, it's like
I was
a
literally
huge deal.
21 years old, and I was
like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like,
my parents told me to too.
Yeah, I literally just made 20 grand. They're like, you better sell that, because they obviously don't know. And I mean, everyone you would talk to, like, yeah, are you in it? No, I heard about it. Like, you should get out of there. Like, it's gonna tank. And then you get that thought in your head. Like, even the main guy who had millions of dollars, he's like, I don't know, like, what do we do? But he was like kind of the start of it all. Like,
I wonder
because
how
we saw if he sold that other people would sell.
Yeah,
I wonder how closely they worked with Keith Gill in terms of just like producing the movie and getting like the.
But that's the thing, is that they didn't even really have to, because everything was public. Like, all the stuff that you see on here is what I saw at my at my home on my phone. So like, none of it was like a secret. I guess the backdoor, like, the big hedge funds guys, like, I don't know if that was real. Like, I don't know what was all about that.
But on the subreddit, I still remember this. They treated Keith Gill like he was Jesus Christ. I mean, like, seriously, they praise him on all the posts. Like,
dude, he made
we have to see what he does.
Rich. He made so many people rich.
Mike, at like 8 p.m. every day, he'd post like him still holding, and it was like a huge deal every day. And so, and they nailed that in this movie as well, because so many people had faith in him, because he was the one that had the idea from the beginning, or had this feeling that the stock would do so well. So people trusted all the research he had done to stick with it.
Yeah. It's crazy, like, how they can just like attack him, like, oh, this was planned, like, you did this, this, and this, you had insider information. He's like, no, like, I just to use my intuition, and like, I don't know. It just goes to show you how
it
fucked
is
up
sus, though,
is.
from their side looking in. Like, how did he know all that? You know what I mean?
For sure, but I mean, like, dude, there's so much shady shit that happens on Wall Street.
But
like,
I mean, the thing about like them calling it like a meme stock and all that. I mean, you see like firsthand in this movie, like, people just heard about it. They're like, oh, like, screw it, we just want to revolt against the big, the money pits, all the bulls, and they're like, it's not even that they wanted to make money. They just want to go against, like, just for fun. And it was the best time during COVID when no one had anything to do,
Everybody was getting those unemployment checks for like fucking $600.
That PPP money, man. Everyone was banking on it.
Yeah, honestly, I wonder how much of that got invested, because I bet most of it did.
A lot of it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a meme stock. I think they're meme stock. I think something like Dogecoin, like, that's a fucking meme stock.
No, GME was the original meme stock.
It was considered the original.
I don't think so.
Well, it's just because, like, if you look at, I mean, what they said in the movie is true. I actually watched a video on it the other day about GameStop's, like, history over the last, like, 10 years, last decade. And it was a huge deal. They were making, like, $8 billion a year back in, like, the golden age of video games, like, 2008 to 2012, with new consoles. Obviously, like, the Call of Duties, Uncharted, like, all those games, they were making a ton of money. And in the last two and a half years, they've had 6 CEOs. I mean, like, they're bleeding out, right? It's starting to go away. COVID hurt them quite a bit, so they were going down a lot, and they weren't valued at much. And so it was easier for these hedge funds to, like, just screw them over, because they figured it was a dying company.
But is that not like,
hedge funds were super smart in shorting GameStop, because it is a dead company. It's just, it was like the next Blockbuster, and I mean, that's in all, on paper, statistically, factually, it was the smartest thing ever for a hedge fund to short GME. Well, because like you said, everything went digital. No one was buying games physically, and we know that playing video games ourselves. I haven't stepped foot in a GameStop in fucking 13 years, 10 plus years.
That's cap.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's cap.
I haven't. I've never bought a physical game.
It's the same thing, though, with AMC, right? Like, people weren't going to the movies anymore. Yeah. That year, 2020, movies that were coming out right away went straight to Netflix, straight to HBO. Like, people weren't going to the theaters anymore.
And out of all the theaters, AMC was by far the worst, because they had shitty quality theaters.
Yeah.
And their food, like, their concessions, was overpriced out of any other
closing down
theater.
Left and right.
Yeah. So, I mean,
we had some around us that closed.
But that's the thing is where this, like, meme stock comes in, is that, hey, like, that one main guy, I don't remember his name, but he's like, you know what? Like, us gamers love GameStop. I remember going in and buying a video game. He's like, let's pump this thing up. And, like, he literally said that, and everyone fucking bought it as a joke.
Keith, I was just going to say, man, I was just gonna say, Nerd Necks unite, dude. They fucking single-handedly saved fucking GameStop, and I love that. They shut
down a fucking hedge fund.
I love that, dude.
Yeah, and it's too, like, it is a real-life underdog story, David versus Goliath. Like, 100% it is.
Yeah.
Because these hedge funds win all the time. Wall Street wins all the time. And the average Joe never wins. So it was such a big deal at the time. Yeah, I this movie really just nailed everything I wanted it to hit on, and
100%.
It was so interesting watching it though because I knew everything going into it, just from living through it, and I mean the amount of videos and shit I watched, things I was reading, like, and they nailed the subreddit too, and I'm glad they did because I didn't know how deep they're gonna go.
They made such a big emphasis on it. It was fucking hilarious,
dude. All the
people were saying crazy shit on that,
bro. That shit was so funny. Anthony Ramos' character doing the fucking savage dance multiple times too.
But then, I mean, watching this, it was entertaining, knowing, like, living that. But then imagine, like, everyone else who was, like, at home, watched the news, because it was everywhere. Like, that was the only thing that was on TV, on the radio, on Twitter, anything. And then they're like, oh, I remember that. Like, and then they watch this movie, they're like, wow, they get, like, an inside of, everything that went on in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I think they do a great job summarizing it.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, and I'm glad, too, they really showed, like, I liked Seth Rogen's character a lot because it really showed him, like, sweating it, going through it. I mean, imagine losing all that fucking money that quick. I can't imagine what it'd be like. Yeah, I mean, fuck that guy, but, like, that was crazy, too.
His wife was ready to leave him.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do.
Well, I mean,
I'd be throwing up.
He closes brokerage or firm or whatever.
Yeah,
he had to.
Bro, I think I would kill myself, dude. That dude, 6 million or 6 billion. I mean,
he lost 6.8 billion.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that was always a big motivator too. Was like, hey guys, like the stock's going up. We might be losing a little bit of money, but like they're losing billions every day that we hold. You know what I mean? So that was always like a big pushing factor on the subreddit, especially was them losing money. So it's cool because in real life we got like the Keith Gill side of the story, but we never really knew from the hedge fund guys. We just assumed, they're sweating it, they're nervous, like they're they don't know what to do. And so that's what was really cool about this movie is they captured like both sides pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm glad they went into the Robin Hood shit too because fuck those guys. It is Robin the Hood.
Who is fucking? Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan as Vlad, dude, was so fucking funny. They're just making them look like absolute bitches, like with the questions, and then like when they're doing the photo shoot with the newscaster or whatever, the editor. Yeah, the reporter, and then they drive off in their matching Teslas and shit like that. Like, God.
They give each other the head nod. And then...
Yeah, they're just giving a fuck you to Vlad, dude. This shit's so funny.
Yeah. I remember, too, when their IP released for their stock, it just tanked right away. And it was a big deal because it went under the price of what AMC was at the time and GME. And it was awesome because, like, fuck you guys for what you did.
Yeah.
It's so funny, man.
Yeah. I remember, like, when it was big before obviously everything happened with GameStop, like, it was in like a positive light. Like people actually liked Robinhood. I remember having it for sure for a couple years. I had deleted and installed and uninstalled it a few times for sure, but like it was in a positive light for a minute.
Oh, I mean, it was definitely Robinhood's nice because it lets the everyday person get the basics of
for sure
trading and buying whatever they like.
And it has a really nice layout too, like a nice HUD and everything. It's very simple. It is nice. And two, it's obviously it's a good way to track all your stocks and everything like that. But after what they did with just all the halting, I remember one day GME halted like 12 times, I think, and it would go up like in like an hour and be up like 20%, and then just halt. As soon as it would start going up, halt. Like it was fishy as fuck. Like it made no sense.
Straight fucking line going right up.
Yeah, and they'd have no reason as to why they halted. Like they would never have a reason as to why they did it. Yeah. And everyone on the Reddit would be like, just what the hell? Like everyone would be complaining. Yeah, Twitter would blow up. Like people were pissed off. Like because they had no reason to do it at all. So
it was illegal, and it's crazy that they didn't get charged anything for it.
Yeah, that's kind of a sad part of the story.
I mean, that's one thing I didn't really look in the legal side of it. Like when it all was said and done, But I mean, it's good that they definitely pointed out in this movie.
I'm glad they hit on that.
When's the COVID movie coming out?
Yeah, it basically wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously they had to pay attention to the COVID, like allude to it with all the masks and stuff, because that's the time I was in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we even see the nurse get vaccinated and everything. Like, that was the time we were in. So,
yeah,
it's crazy to look back on that too.
For sure,
it's crazy.
What did you guys think of Pete Davidson? I know Mike's a fan. He was just in Transformers 2, wasn't he? Or no?
Yeah,
he's in fucking everything, dude.
He is in everything, dude. You don't
I
even,
saw Mike throw his hand up.
You don't even know that Pete Davidson's in it, and then he just shows up, and you're like, I mean, this one, I didn't like him in Bodies, and I think that's the second to last thing I saw him in. The second or the first being Transformers, but he was just a voice. He wasn't like physically there, but I don't know. I think he did a pretty good job in this.
You know what to expect.
He's just an idiot asshole brother.
He is.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that they did a good ass job because he's a DoorDasher and he's literally eating all the food, and he still has a job.
He's funny as fuck. He's a Myopolis, bro. He's a Myopolis right now because he's dating the Outer Banks girl, Madeline Klein.
Madeline Klein, yeah.
He can't keep getting away with this.
Dude, but imagine if he's
he
not.
Can't keep getting away with this.
Imagine he's not. He just like wakes up in the morning. He checks his phone. He's like, "Oh, I'm dating Madeline Klein now."
He's like, "Fuck it, I guess."
Oh, it's someone new.
It's just free.
That's awesome. Funny, man.
I love that shit.
Yeah. I saw Mike throw his hands up when he was on screen. But that's the thing is like it's pretty interesting from the Keith Gill side of things. Like I didn't know about his sister. Like that sucks. That's really sad.
Is that an actual thing that happened?
Yeah. So, there's that, and then like too, like we get to see his wife, kid. You know what I mean? Like his family, which is pretty interesting. Like everything outside of his streams and videos. So
yeah.
But you got to think too. I don't know if he was running ads or anything on his YouTube. You have to assume maybe he was making money from YouTube as well, right? I mean, he was pulling in like 200K views, if not more, on certain videos. So you got to imagine he's probably raking some of that money in.
Well, I'm surprised
we never really saw him go to work.
I'm surprised he didn't quit his job.
Yeah, I mean,
he got fired.
Yeah, he got fired, and I knew he did, but I didn't know. I thought it was earlier in the movie. It was pretty late on when he got fired, which I guess
is like after he got the subpoena and all that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know. I thought it was like later on in the movie too. And I forgot Shailene Woodley was in this.
Yeah, dude, like I said, I only knew that Paul Dano was in it and Seth Rogen. I didn't know anything else about it.
Yeah, and they never really had scenes together or anything outside the Zoom call.
No.
They really weren't even like in the same like scene together, to be honest with you. Like they didn't interact as like actors, you know.
Nope.
Yeah. Dude, the part two where Seth Rogen had to go on the show and he shut the Zoom off like right before.
Yeah.
God. I like Seth Rogen, like being like a I don't even know, like it's like a role we've never seen him play before. I thought that was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like he had to act his ass off, but it's not him cracking jokes, like he's being serious.
Yeah, like a rich asshole or anything like that.
It feels like a role that if he was directing this movie, he would have been playing.
Yeah, and I guess the only side characters we really didn't talk about were the two college students. They started off in pretty big debt, and I think the one girl invested like before the other girl did, but I think it said at the end of the movie they both made like $200K, obviously, which is amazing for probably 19, 20-year-olds. But yeah, and I like their perspective a lot too. When they did sell and everything like that, and they weren't too sure, and they were like the most stressed out about it out of anyone else. And I remember when it halted in the movie, all like every dorm room, like students were invested in it, right? Yeah. And they're all really nervous about it. Also, too, we can't finish the review without talking about their roommate. Or one of their roommates. Funniest actress.
Like, fuck.
That shit was the side eyes and everything were fucking hilarious.
It's so funny because, I never went away to college, but I mean, you just know, like, everyone has that weird ass roommate. It's just funny as shit.
I never got weird roommates, but it's just so funny because I can envision that, and there's probably so many dynamics and dorm rooms that have that same type of like relationship. It's so funny, dude. Every time she popped up, bro, all three of us were dying.
Oh man,
dude, she was like the funniest character.
Probably,
she didn't even say anything. She had like
she didn't do anything.
One line. It's just weird as fuck.
Yeah, them getting the pool too was funny, or the tub. That was
man.
fun.
I like the scene where the two college girls or just the one is in class, and her laptop, she drops her AirPod and her laptop like has the sound. It's like, where's my pussy? Where's my pussy? She's like scrambling.
What you guys think? What would you say was your funniest scene? I'm trying to think.
When the roommate walks in for the first time, that had me dying.
That was funny as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm thinking joke wise. Shit.
There is a couple that really got me, man. I like
Pete Davidson door dashing, eating all the food.
That shit was funny.
I like
what the fuck.
The end was funny as fuck when they were butt ass naked running the mile.
Yeah, that's funny. And then I also like the part where Vlad was like at the party and he's like, "What? I thought you said 3 million." He's like, "Yeah, 3 million." He goes, "What do we do if we don't pay him? Or what happens if we don't pay him?" Because like obviously they didn't have the fucking money. He's like, Robin Hood revenued like 2 billion total.
Yeah.
That shit was
they had like 3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Him going in the closet, fucking talking on the phone.
I thought you said 3 billion.
Yeah,
I did.
Oh, and too when he's trying to flirt with that girl, and she thinks he's asking him about Robin Hood, so he starts like talking about it. She's like, "Your phone's ringing." It's just the funniest thing because he probably is fucking an asshole who just talks about his company 100%, all day long.
But that's why I love it because no one loves Vlad. Like everyone, like he's literally an asshole to everyone ever since then. And I mean, it's funny that like the director, whatever, took the side too. And
I didn't even talk about this. In the at the end where Keith Gill's character, you see him on E-Trade and he puts in like the 50,000 and he has like the mouse over the sell button and some dumbass lady in the fucking at like in the front of the theater is like,
oh my god, he's gonna sell.
I was like, no.
Busting out laughing. And then we literally just got done watching this at the theater, and we were probably like one of 8 people in there, and, and there was like a guy and a girl directly in front of us, and like, literally maybe in the last like 10-20 minutes, this guy just shows the girl like his Robinhood account in the theater, and you see the fucking lines. Yeah, you see his portfolio in the fucking on his phone screen.
That shit's all red.
I wonder too how many people will watch this and then go invest in GameStop. I wonder.
Dude, I was just gonna say I'm gonna put a couple $100 in GameStop.
No,
I'm gonna short that shit too. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it in like 4 days.
It's
dude.
Still overvalued than what it is right now.
I think it was like 15 when I was looking at it.
Well, they diluted that stock too a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's at $17. It's already fucking. It's not worth it.
Hey, I'm gonna buy it tomorrow when the market opens. As soon as it gets to 25, I'm selling that shit.
It's just never gonna hit 25.
But I'm holding out, man.
Just save your money.
Well, too, and that GameStop kid talking about buying the options too. I remember buying options is like a gamble.
That was huge.
100%. Yeah, because like if it doesn't reach that price by that date, it's gone.
But it was so free during that time because like you knew it was going up. It was averaging like at least $20 like a day. I think it was more than that. And I mean, I remember at that initial like fucking increase from like the 10s to like the 100s, like dude, it was just skyrocketing day by day by day.
Yeah.
And you would just sit there and watch it on a live feed, and it was just up. It'd have a tiny spike up.
If I was Keith Gill and I seen 50 million, I'm saying, I'm sorry, bro. Like I'm selling this shit.
I think he would have been. I don't know. What did he end out with?
It said 34 million when he went dark in April 2021.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's good. But, like, I mean, obviously he's smart, too. I mean, there's no way he's showing everyone that he held. But I guess his numbers were the same, so he couldn't have sold.
Yeah, and obviously, too, he bought it at, like,
he couldn't have fringed
$2 or $3 for $50K. Like, obviously, like, even if it tanked down, he'd still make a profit.
But what a crazy investment
he was at 50.
in his initial for $50,000.
How much did he had $98K at the time?
How much of the stock did he own?
Oh, I don't know how many shares that was.
Yeah, it can't be a whole bunch.
We kept running too. He just kept going.
I think he was. I would guess. Oh yeah. Well, he had like over 100,000 shares for sure at one point, if not more than that.
Maybe like 25%, something like that.
No, because there's like millions of shares.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, he was a big whale. You can call him that. Just because he bought it so damn early. But yeah, I think he had probably the pressure of the public. Like he knew how many people were following him. That if he sold, and he believed in the cause.
You get death threats probably.
Yeah, dude, I was brainwashed too. I was like, AMC's fucking going to the moon.
People actually go to his house? Like, is that a real thing? Damn.
Yeah.
They just doxed him?
Yeah, and people were actually going to the Robin Hood building too, the office there.
I remember that. Throwing shit at the windows.
I like
they deserve it.
I like one of the intro scenes where they were arguing about the hams. So you'll put $50K in GameStop, but you won't spend another $1 for Heineken.
It's funny, you guys save up all your money, put it in there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you guys want to get into scores for this?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You want me to start?
I was gonna say, like, am I like review bitch where I'm just going first all the time now? Is that like what
I went first last time.
Me and Aiden lived through it, like.
Yeah. All right, bro. I'll keep it short and sweet, man. I love the cast here. They did a really good job of making it articulate in terms of like storytelling and making it factual and blending that in with the comedy. I'm gonna go 85 out of 100. Actually, I really like this movie a lot. It did surprise me in terms of how much comedy was in it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be a little bit more like factual and just a little bit more serious, but they did an awesome job, like I said, of blending that comedy in. All like the TikTok dances that Anthony Ramos's character is doing, the dorm scene, man. There is so much about this movie that I really liked, man. So 85 out of 100.
So I'll be short and sweet too. I mean, like I said, it was great living this, and I remember how stressful it was, like during this time too, when you had shares, and I mean, you didn't know, like, who would have ever expected GameStop to go up to $400 some? Like, it was just unheard of, and like you said, I mean, it was a meme stock. It definitely changed trading for like forever, I think. Like, I mean, we will be lucky if we see another meme stock, but I mean, it was like the perfect time, and like, it's a once in a lifetime thing, and if you made out, you made out. If you didn't, it is what it is. Take it on the chin. But I definitely think it was like a learning curve for a lot of people. A lot of people benefited from it, and a lot of people not so much. So
yeah.
But for the people that it did, I mean, sick. I mean, it's just like everyone says, like, oh, I should have bought Bitcoin back in the day. No one knew that Bitcoin was going to go that much, that high, be that, worth. But no, I mean, it was solid. Made me some money. But yeah, I don't know. I think I feel solid giving this a 90 out of 100. I think it was a good watch. I don't know if I'd ever rewatch it again, but I would definitely sit down with someone that's never seen it and be like, hey, let's watch this. Like, I think it's got that comedic factor to it that makes it, you want to rewatch it.
So you would rewatch it?
Yeah, I would, but not on my own.
Just because, yeah, it is funny, and that's what's a good thing about this movie is the comedy. Definitely makes it rewatchable for sure.
It's a great one-time watch.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it to people. I guess one of the few minor details I wish they would have mentioned was like, I remember back in the day, it was compared to like the Volkswagen stock in 2008, like doing a very, very similar movement as to what GameStop was doing. So I wish they would have kind of mentioned that. I know that was like a huge factor too for Keith Gill at one point. So it's just minor things like that, but I really did enjoy the movie. I thought it was funny. The soundtrack was pretty good too. The music in it, I'm a Savage, which was a big song at the time. Or Savage, whatever the song's called.
And fucking WAP too, man.
Yeah,
Damn, by Kendrick.
Yep.
Yeah. They're all singing that at one point. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I'm gonna go with an 87. I definitely think it's rewatchable. And I would recommend people to see it. I'm sure it won't be long till it comes out in streaming, just because there's a lot of big movies out now. So I don't know how well this movie will do, but obviously it has the community behind it that supported GME to start with, right? So you assume a lot of those people will go see it. And yeah, it's crazy, dude. I just remember like I was working at Target with Andrew, and I was just like, dude, this stock's at $17 now. Like it's going up like crazy. But I was like, at this point, how much higher can it go? Fucking goes to $480. So I'm just a dumbass. But it was still a crazy time, and like Eden said, it was an introduction to a lot of young people into getting into stocks, which is pretty interesting. So hopefully we see something like that again in the future. I don't know now with all these new rules and stuff being implemented in and everything like that. And
regulations.
Obviously these companies are probably going to keep shorting these companies, and we can't keep letting them get away with this shit. So
it does not make sense to me how that's fair. Like, it's just not fair. So like,
that's the thing. I mean, that's the stock market. It's not like it's favorable on the market side.
It's literally
just like Vegas. Vegas always wins.
Maybe a little bit of research. Like, are you gonna hit on a fucking 12 when it's like a like a 20 showing, like something like that? Like, there's a little bit that goes into it in terms of intuition and knowing the market and knowing like past trends and stuff like that. But like,
it's a lot of data crunching and
you just can't.
Patterns.
But you can't predict it. It goes to show you just can't predict something like that.
No, even he couldn't really explain to Congress like what made him make the decision. Like, actually, and he had studied on it for so long. He's a very smart guy, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and the Dave Portnoy shit was funny too.
Yeah.
That shit was.
I
funny.
want to run back. I just want to mention the one thing I like about this movie is how with those 5 stories, it all intertwined. Like when they're all singing the same song at the same time because it's on the radio or something like that. Like, I thought that was cool. I want to make a note of that. But, another thing was, I mean, we had those meme stocks. It started with GME. Obviously, GME, AMC were the 2 biggest ones. BlackBerry was another big one that people.
Coin ended up happening.
And Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah,
those are all.
Shout out to those guys.
BBO.
BBY.
I don't know, man. It was a fun time, and I miss it.
Yeah, definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't spoil it too much, but like it happened in real life, so.
Yeah, if like I said, I forgot about this movie. I know it came out, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But it just came out recently, right? It didn't come out too long ago.
This movie?
Yeah,
last week.
Yeah, last week.
Shit,
last Friday,
29th.
Oh,
I'm fucking stupid too.
Or it's in theaters worldwide on the 29th, so we kind of saw it early, I guess.
Nice.
Damn.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That Bath and Beyond is BBB, not BBO. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew that.
That bitch is over. Regardless.
But that was our Dumb Money review. We'll be back. We're doing The Thing. We're gonna start off our spooky October month where we're doing, scary / horror movies and stuff like that. I know we gotta go see Saw. You saw 10.
Nope.
But also there's like other movies too, like The Creator, which we kind of want to go see.
Can we do 100%?
Okay, listen. This
Continental's coming out soon.
It's a scary movie. Okay, this movie is a scary movie. Can we do Scary Movie 3, please?
Yep. I'm not doing Saw, man. I'm not doing those horror movies. I'll do The Thing. I'll do the old movies because they're not that scary.
I'm gonna hire
the
a
scariest movie I'll see is fucking
to come watch that shit with you. I'm not watching that shit by myself.
Scariest shit I watched recently was Sinister, and I ain't watching that shit again.
I literally before we hopped on this, dude, I seen the the scene where in Scary Movie 3 where he's talking to Charlie Sheen on the bus and he gets caught. He's like,
the funniest part is the fucking Michael Jackson scene.
Oh yeah, no. The funniest part is the fucking where the rap battle scene where he throws the hood up, but
or the fucking priest and Cody.
Yeah, that's on the schedule, Josh. That's non-negotiable. Non-negotiable.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for listening.
See you next time. Peace
see
out.
You guys.
Hey, GameStop, back to the moon.
Yep.
Ooh.
To the moon.
To the moon.
Ooh.